All right, coming in at number 22 on our organizational value rankings. I mean, this kid just keeps getting better and better. It started in the playoffs, not this past season, but the year before. And ever since, it has been a skyrocketing trajectory for Zack Ostapchuk, a two-time World Junior gold medalist.
Yeah, Zack Ostapchuk has kind of been a shining light in the Sens prospect pool, especially if you've been following along with him closely, as you have, Ross, with him playing in Winnipeg that last chunk of the season in the WHL. And this is a guy that not a lot of people had on their radar his first couple years in the WHL, and then his third year hit and he started making some noise, and then his final year he just dominated in the WHL. And that was a great league for him because he's got size and he can play that physical grinding type game. My favorite aspect, or I should say attribute, about Zack Ostapchuk, Ross, is his ability to drive to the net. What he likes to do is go wide around defenders coming into the zone in transition. And then once he's around that defender, it's just straight line, head down, no thinking, just right to the net. Try to crash the goalie, try to get a nice little deke in, and I think he's had success with that. So I'm really excited to see Zack Ostapchuk play in the pro game here.
Me too, because the 6'4" frame, I mean,
Yeah,
you're already at an advantage. Left shot, 203 pounds, plays primarily center, but don't be surprised if he's a winger at the NHL level. Between his time with the Vancouver Giants, where he was the captain, and his time with the Winnipeg Ice, he combined to have 55 regular season games, 31 goals, 36 assists, good for 67 points, 46 penalty minutes, and a plus 28 rating. In the playoffs, he had 15 points in 18 games, including a goal and a penalty shot that I was able to film on my phone, Pilsy, as I was boots on the ground for that game at the Ice Cave in a arena for a team that no longer exists, unfortunately, but that's a gripe for another day.
retro.
Hey, getting to see Ostapchuk play was a pretty cool, like, kind of finale of the Winnipeg Ice, at least for me living in Winnipeg now. So I thought that was kind of cool, but man, he was just dominant at that level. And Winnipeg had a great team, obviously the Matthew Savoys, the Connor Geekies of the world, but Ostapchuk stood up above all else. And maybe it's the size, the skating has always been his best attribute, but now he's adding that like middle lane drive. He's great shooter. Like he's really showing that he can score in a bunch of different ways. And like, again, maybe it's a lazy comparable because I've heard it said before, but Pilsy, this guy just seen, especially like with the trajectory, like this is Nick Paul 2.0.
Yeah, I think that was definitely someone I compared him to. Or I like this one too, a Chandler Stevenson type. I mentioned him before as well. I think
That would be
that's something.
awesome.
Yeah, maybe that's like high ceiling, and Nick Paul is kind of a little more realistic. But what I like about Zack Ostapchuk is when he's with the Giants, top guy, leader. If like their wins and losses can be defined by how did Zack Ostapchuk do that night.
Yep.
Then he gets traded to the Winnipeg Ice. No longer a top dog, not even really in the top four. Like there's
Hired
three.
gun.
Yeah, he's a hired gun. There's like three top guys ahead of him on that team. So he's playing a bit different role. Similar situation in the World Juniors. He's playing a bottom six role. I would love to see Ostapchuk be the third line center in Belleville. And I would love to see him continue that play where he's not just putting up points, he's playing great defensively, good two-way responsibility. He's playing physical, he's playing hard. And I would love to see him and Boucher, the top guys on that third line, and maybe mix in a veteran AHL guy on the left wing for them. And I think they could have success there. So, and that's how Zack Ostapchuk's going to break into the NHL, Ross. It's not going to be by putting up points. It's not going to be by being an elite playmaker or a sniper. He's going to be a bottom six guy that eventually will round out his game and be able to put up points as well. So there's just so much to like about Ostapchuk when you're looking at him as far as the future goes with this organization.
And especially from the standpoint of having a developmental toolkit that anyone would love to work with. Like I'm sure Jesse Winchester and Sean Donovan are so excited to get to mold this guy into a pro hockey player where, yeah, he played that PK role. He played, a really kind of strong defensive. One thing that I noticed from watching him live is he is one of the most active sticks defensively. And obviously when you score, you use a long one. So he's coming out and challenging at the blue line, creating turnovers, and just an exciting piece of the puzzle. But again, a guy who isn't going to have the 50 points at the AHL level right away. Like it's going to be I think he's going to be a guy who after games, especially wins, Dave Bell is going to bring him up unprompted.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
yeah.
didn't you like how Zack played tonight? Like Zack played great. I think he's going to be used as an example for his teammates to have the defensive awareness and mindset on a team. And every successful team needs that type of player.
Big time. Yeah, especially in the AHL. So, yeah, this is going to be a big year for Zack Ostapchuk. I think, like you mentioned, I don't think he's going to break out points-wise first year, but second year, once he's got that experience, I think he'll really unleash it.
Hey, Pilsy, would 11 goals and 22 assists in 70 games be good?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
We're using the Roby line as what you could jump over, but I honestly do. Let's say it's 14 and 14 for 28 points, but he's a solid defensive-minded presence. And if Belleville's winning, be a plus player and don't put your team shorthanded and call that a great successful year for Zack Ostapchuk. Now, Ostapchuk's had a bit of a kind of slow and steady path up our rankings. He was 31st in his first year on the list at 2021. Then last year he was 23rd. This year he comes in at 22nd on our organizational value rankings.